It was late, much later than I had planned to stay up. The room was quiet except for the faint hum of the city outside my window. I had been watching TV, trying to distract myself from the stress of the day, when she appeared in the doorway. Her eyes were wide, almost hesitant, as if she was weighing every word before speaking. "Can I sleep in your bed tonight?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I froze. The question was simple, but the implications made my heart skip. I swallowed hard and tried to sound casual. I only have one bed," I said, forcing a shrug. She tilted her head, not understanding, or maybe pretending not to understand. "That's okay," she said softly. I nodded, but inside my mind was racing. I wanted to say no to protect the space between us. But some instinct told me she needed this and I couldn't refuse. I got up and moved to the side of the bed, gesturing for her to climb in first. She hesitated, then slipped under the covers, leaving only a small space beside her. I followed slowly, careful not to disturb her, careful not to let my thoughts betray me. The bed creaked slightly as I settled in. The room smelled faintly of her perfume, a mix of something floral and clean, and it was intoxicating. My heartbeat thumped loudly in my ears. We lay there silent. The only sounds were our breathing and the distant sirens from the street. Every instinct I had told me to reach out to touch her hand, but I didn't, I couldn't, not yet. Her warmth radiated toward me, and I realized how long it had been since I felt this close to someone. The lines between friendship, trust, and something more were blurred, and I wasn't sure where she ended and I began. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. I don't know. I was too aware of every movement, every breath. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. My mind kept replaying her words, the way she looked at me, the soft sound of her breathing beside me. I knew one thing for certain. This night would change everything. The next morning, the sunlight seeped through the blinds, casting stripes across the bed. She was still asleep, curled up on her side, a gentle expression on her face. I couldn't move without making a sound, afraid to wake her, afraid that the fragile closeness from last night would vanish if I disturbed her. I sat on the edge of the bed, running my fingers through my hair, thinking about how things had gotten so complicated. This wasn't just about sharing a bed, it was about trust, boundaries and feelings that I couldn't ignore anymore. Eventually she stirred, blinking at the sunlight and at me. Her eyes were sleepy, soft, and something in them made my heart skip again. "Morning," she whispered, her voice still rough from sleep. "Morning," I replied, trying to sound casual, but my voice betrayed me. She shifted slightly closer, and for a moment I felt the pull between us, the tension of two people teetering on the edge of something unspoken. I wanted to ask her why she stayed, why she trusted me enough to cross that line, but I couldn't find the words. Instead, we ate breakfast in silence. Every glance, every gesture carried weight. The simple act of pouring coffee, passing a plate, felt charged, as if the world had narrowed down to the two of us and nothing else mattered. Then she spoke softly, almost shyly. "I didn't want to sleep alone," she said. "Not tonight." Her words struck me. It wasn't just about the bed, it was about fear, loneliness, and maybe something more. I wanted to tell her that I understood, that I had my own fears and uncertainties, but I kept quiet. Instead, I reached out and brushed a strand of hair from her face. She didn't flinch. Our fingers lingered together just for a second, but long enough to make my pulse race. By the time she left that morning, I realized nothing could go back to the way it was. That night had opened a door, one that neither of us knew, if we were ready to fully walk through, but it had to be faced sooner or later. And I knew one thing for certain. The next time we were alone, nothing would feel the same. That evening the room felt smaller, warmer. The sun had set, but the soft glow of the lamp made the space intimate. She arrived again, hesitant yet determined, as if she had rehearsed the moment 1,000 times in her mind. I watched her enter and felt the same nervous pull I had felt that first night. Words felt useless. Everything we hadn't said all day hovered between us, heavy and unspoken. "Can I stay again?" she asked softly, her voice trembling slightly. I nodded, unable to find my voice. This time I didn't just make space on the bed. I sat closer, letting her know without words that it was okay, that she was safe, that we were safe. We lay side by side in silence, yet it wasn't empty. Every touch, every breath, every glance carried meaning. The barriers we had held up for months or years were slowly dissolving. Then, as if gathering courage, she turned to face me. I've been wanting this, she admitted. To be close. To feel safe. Her words hit me like a spark. I reached for her hand, finally letting it rest over hers. The warmth spread through me, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something shift, a trust, a connection that had been waiting all along. We didn't rush. We didn't need to. That night wasn't about labels or confessions. It was about presence, about being there for each other, and for the first time I realized that sharing my world, my bed, my heart, my space didn't feel like fear. It felt like home. Hours passed. The city outside was quiet, and the world beyond the walls didn't matter. What mattered was the small, tender moments, the gentle touch of her hand, the shared breaths, the unspoken understanding. When morning came, it would bring choices, responsibilities, and the outside world again. But for now, in that quiet room, we had discovered something far greater than words could capture. A shy glance, a lingering touch, a heartbeat that matched another's. Sometimes that was all it took to change everything. And in that small room together, I realized this night wasn't just a night. It was the beginning of something neither of us had expected, but both of us had been waiting for all along.